Hello folks, welcome back to another Ghosts of Tabor video. I don't know about all of you, but I have been feeling so frustrated lately when I play this game. Now I die a lot, admittedly I'm not the best player, and I'm not here to make excuses. But, and there is a big juicy but, oftentimes it feels like I'm dying to stuff that is just out of my control. Game bugs, lag, desync, or just poor game design with these overpowered scavs. Honestly, I would love to know what is the KD of an SKS scav, because those dudes are laser beaming me and they do way too much damage. So I will cover all that stuff later. Today I am here to talk about my opinion on these things and hope, very much hope, that Scott or someone, anyone will hear my words and maybe, just maybe, stop focusing on making body pillows and fix your game. Anyways. No, but in all seriousness, it's great that you're doing those sorts of things and you're adding a ton of stuff to the game. That's awesome. But I think it needs to be refined first. There are way too many bugs and issues that just make it so hard and frustrating to load up and play the game. That's crazy. Out of all the things to grab, my hand is 17 miles down. What are we grabbing? What are we grabbing here? Oh, you know what? That's just... Listen, I dream of a world where I can load up and my gun doesn't get stuck floating in the air, unable to be used. Airdrop come in,
okay,
so...
Pull it out right here and flare straight in the sky.
Do you see this? Can you grab this? Please! The bugs, the bugs, the bugs. Give me my gun. A world where I don't get too tapped by a scav. He can shoot me through the... Of course he can. Why wouldn't he be able to shoot me through the computer screen? I don't know why. A world where I can hear sound and actually tell where it's coming from. A world where I'm not lagging and I'm not watching other people lagging all over the map. I don't know what just happened. I just lagged out so hard and then I just died. Now, before I get into more detail, I would just like to say Ghosts of Tabor is still a good game and I am still going to play it, perhaps because I'm addicted. Still the best VR extraction shooter on the market, in my opinion. That being said, my main goal with this video is to resonate with my fellow players' frustrations and to potentially have my feedback be heard. That way, we can all have a better experience playing the game we all love. I'm dead as balls. What is this? Run! I was literally talking about how bad the death pit is. Oh my god. I'm just dead as hell. Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Maybe. Why did you stop grabbing the freaking thing? Are you serious? Oh my god, this game is so bugged and crap. Dude, I can't. I'm sure you can sense the frustration with that last clip. A game like this thrives with frustration and grinding it out till you get rewarded with a great raid. One that makes it all worth the time and effort, all the kits lost. At least that's how it is for most of us, who are absolute chads and wipe the lobby every raid. However, lately the frustration has felt a little overwhelming, and I want to talk about why. So I'm going to break it down into 5 categories today. Let's first start out with category 1, the bugs. Now, I know I'm no developer, so take some of the complaints with a grain of salt. First off, if there is a wall and there is not wall penetration, I do not want to be shot through said wall. Secondly, if I bring a gun, I want to be able to use it. I don't want any attachments spazzing out or any armor magazines disappearing, leaving me with no ammo, or even like you saw in the intro, my gun floating in the ether. Thirdly, and man, I can't tell you how annoyed I get with the backpack bugs, but it drives me insane trying to pull things out and put things into my bag. In my year or so of playing the game, the backpack has never really worked right. It spun and floated out into space, vanished, crashed the game, among other things. Now, some of these issues have been made better over time, which is awesome. You know, good job, dev team, seriously. However, my backpack still doesn't always remember what gravity is, and it just starts to try and float away. This is very frustrating. Also, when I'm putting armor into a bag, now that it is foldable, it feels like the armor is the only thing that I can grab once it is in the bag. I'm not sure if that means the hitbox doesn't actually shrink to the size you see visually, but seemingly I can have a closed backpack and yet magically grab out my armor when simply just trying to grab the backpack, and man, this happens so often. I know there are many more bugs. Feel free to drop them in the comments. I would love to hear about which ones frustrate you the most. These are just some at the top of my list. Next, I would like to move on to number 2, and this is probably the most important one on my entire list, the lag. There's nothing
nothing quite as frustrating as lagging in a video game. It's something that takes all the control you have and just throws it out the window. But at least I will say most of the lag is concentrated at the beginning of the game. But man, I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel like Scott was absolutely rage baiting me, throwing me into a pit of scabs when I'm lagging out. But this can be especially bad with spawns. There are a lot of close spawns on the map, and when you're lagging, getting into a gunfight is not fun. You spend what feels like an eternity in the bunker getting your juiciest kit together just to get rocked while you're trying to make heads or tails of what is even going on. Now, in addition to this, we have desync. This is your classic, I went around the wall and still got shot. Basically, what you see on your screen is not what is happening on the server. Desync will never be perfect, but it is pretty bad in Ghosts of Tabor. I can't tell you how many times I've shot someone in the face just to die what feels like a 2 full seconds later to the guy that I killed. These issues are my #1 priority because this can genuinely take the fun out of the game for me. All right, third up, we have scavs. Oh boy, I know how much Scott and the devs love their scavs. I don't think coding bots to be balanced is ever going to be easy. You don't want them to be irrelevant, but you also don't want them to be massacring the player base. Currently, it feels like the latter is happening. There needs to be something done about the way they aggro, their range, their accuracy, damage, all of those things. I don't see why if I roll up to labs, the entire compound and every scab on the road starts shooting at me. And God forbid I try to run away. The scavs hunt you down now. They will sit on your trail, firing off shots longer than a mob will chase you down in an MMORPG. Now, look, I'm not saying totally nerf the scavs, unless we're talking about the SKS scavs, because that guy's a problem. That scav makes me question if he's got a full auto version and aimbot. However, I do not think across the board nerfs are necessary. I think some minor nerfs, perhaps some behavioral changes would be beneficial, especially if we are wanting to keep it realistic. Scavs do not need to be targeting you when they don't have line of sight. They try to shoot you through doors, walls, entire grass hills, and sometimes they even succeed. Also, their movement is just erratic. They are bouncing from left to right sometimes, full sprinting while simultaneously gunning you down. Players never do this. If we try to do this, we would miss. It is so hard to be full sprinting while gunning somebody down, especially when they're like 50 meters away, if not more. And one final thought on the scavs is I just want to say, imagine you're a new player, you load up, say the mall map, good luck, you're probably just dead. I don't think you'd have a remotely good experience trying to play as a new player on the mall map, unless you're just into games like Elden Ring and like that sort of a challenge, which hey, I do like a good Elden Ring and Dark Souls challenge, but not everyone is a masochist. I'm not actually, but I will say if we're gonna have certain maps that are just immensely harder, it would be cool to denote those maps with a difficulty marker. Because as of right now, all maps say hard difficulty, and that is not helpful. They are all hard, to be fair, but some are definitely harder than others. But enough of the scavs, let's move on to number 4. This one probably lower on the priority list for me, but the sound in the game can be complete nonsense sometimes. Is someone above me or below me? Are they on the same floor as me? No idea. Good luck. I know this can be a hard task to tackle for implementing into the game. I'll just leave it at that, but it would be so cool if we could get this fixed. However, lighting on the other hand, there are some spots on maps that are just way too dark for no reason. You can have a building with a ton of natural sunlight, and yet there's areas with complete darkness that shouldn't be there. What is even more weird to me is that you can be standing in an area that is a little bit different, and yet now you have light. It's super strange, and I'm not sure how it works, but I would love for this to get fixed. And not to mention the island map lighting bug where your gun appears to be blacked out as if it's not unlocked. Most of the time, I've seen this generally appear in the mansion area, and they might be working on it because I feel like past few times I've loaded up, I haven't seen it so much, so maybe it's getting fixed, and if it is, awesome, I love that, thank you so much. I'm tired of not knowing whether my gun's on safety, full auto, semi-auto, who knows? I usually just hit a quick desk pop. All right, finally, the 5th category. Armor. Now I'll just say this up front because I'm not sure how it would feel, but as a player who plays the game a bit more casually, I don't typically have a way to deal with armor. Some guns you can practically mag dump into a player and it's like you sneezed on them. And I don't know, it feels a little too strong to me if I'm being honest. Although I think because I play a lot of solo raids, I am a bit biased because taking one chat out is quite hard, but if they got buddies, well, I probably don't have enough ammo for that. Overall though, like I said, these are just my opinions and this video is all about spreading some awareness and resonating with the player base. I don't mean anything negative about these critiques. I just want to help, and I'm sure the devs do know and are aware of a lot of these issues. Even though I say that, it feels like we have had a lot of the same issues since the dawn of time. So I want to show the importance of fixing and balancing these things in the game. At the end of the day, I still love the game and I'm still having a great time. It's awesome. I just wanted to get this out there because I've seen a lot of people complaining, and honestly, I keep watching videos of other YouTubers and streamers and I'm seeing them lag and them complain. So I just really felt strongly about making this video in hopes that it helps. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my TED Talk Yap session. Till next time, peace.